Without further ado, I'm going to introduce Eamon to conclude this morning's proceedings, and welcome, Eamon. Thank you.
Thanks very much indeed. It's so lovely to be here with a lot of friends of Enclude and personal friends over the years, but I'm a bit humbled, let's say, by some of the things to be said. So a huge thanks to all the charities, many represented here. I mean, 1,500 altogether we've engaged with, and then hundreds at quite a deep and personal level in terms of working with their information systems. It's an honour to be engaged in the work that people do, and sometimes it's very, very humbling. Another important role for me this morning is to thank the technology donors. Okay, 50 million euro worth of stuff into the Irish sector in the last 10 years. It's quite a significant amount. And so one is we have two main programs. So the TechSoup Global program is worldwide, and we're part of that worldwide network, and includes donors like Microsoft and Google, Symantec, Cisco, Adobe, Bytes of Learning, and more of them. So that's one group of donors, which is probably half of all the donors. And the second group, here on my right, I have a group of Salesforce staff. So Salesforce donate their CRM into the sector, and I'm glad that's been recognized here this morning. Again, high value-add technology that would no way be accessible to charities if it wasn't donated. And yet it has the capacity to enable great things to happen. And then Enclude is about e-inclusion. It's a technology strategy to harness the power of technology to help fellow charities include more people and to include them in better services within our limited resources. And that's our contribution. And therefore, when we think about IT, what it ultimately means is inclusion technology. It's clear to me the significance of access to information and use of information for strategic purposes. It's an integral part of our capacity to change society. Charities work on the coalface in Irish society, thousands of charities. And therefore, they have information about what's going on in society that nobody else has. That many charities have information about where we fail, about the victims of societal failures in society. And therefore, we need that information if we're to learn and change. But the reality is the information is often in people's heads, in people's hearts, in multiple bits of paper, in multiple bits of technology, and is not accessible. So part of the technology strategy is to get that technology together. And to get it together in a single shared place where the information can be used so we can learn how to do things better and we can actually effectively lead to change. So Enclude believes we can change the world through an information liberation. A liberation of that information from where it was. And that by harvesting and harnessing the data, we can learn to focus on where change is needed, and also we can ensure that our engagement with the change is effective. And that same process can happen for every area we work in. We work in homelessness, we work in family services, in children's services and domestic violence. If we can harness the information, and if we can roll it up to the policymakers, there's a much better chance that we will change society. And that's the ultimate goal of Enclude. I personally have been hugely blessed by all the people who have joined me on this journey. And as I say, I want to express sincere thanks for that. People with much greater skills than I have. And people with generosity that I don't fully realize why. But together, Enclude has become a team. And it's a pleasure just to be working on that team. You've been very kind to listen for the morning, but there is one message, let's say, I want to say. I just take the opportunity of having the microphone, and that's to the funders of charities. And to say, and many of those funders are state funders, to say, we want to partner with you in this information project. And we hope in some ways that people let go of some of the old ways of creating reporting systems to get information. It's much more effective if you want accurate and timely information. If you give the service providers, the charities, if you allow them have the right technology, the best of technology, that captures that information at the minute of engagement with the client. and that you allow that best technology aggregate the data. And then, because we're all connected, that data will just flow up to the top if you allow it. Okay? And there's a lot of old ways that need to change in order for that to happen. But our pledge to you is, look, at what you really need to do is just say what information you need, how you need that information, and where we can put it. So finally, the invitation is to everybody here and everybody you know to join us in this information revolution. Together, let's build a society that is truly inclusive and just. But in building that society, let's use information to let us know what we need to do. Let's use information to learn how to do it. And at the end of the day, the information will tell us when we make our goal. And when we achieve that society, we certainly will have something to celebrate. Thank you very much.